Good afternoon and welcome to the Red Sea podcast on this wet and windy Sunday afternoon. Liverpool 3-1 winners over Cardiff in the FA Cup fourth round. Norwich await in the fifth round again at Anfield. I'm going to talk about all the goals, all the action on the other side of this intro.
Tell the world we are Liverpool, champions of England.
We've conquered all of Europe. We're never gonna stop. From Palestine to Turkey, we've won the fucking lot. But Paisley and the Shankly, the fields of Anfield gold. We are unsupported, and we come from Liverpool.
There we are then, different circumstances, just on myself today and not the usual background. So excuse the hair. I've been out in the wet and windy conditions watching my son play this morning. A fantastic win for them. A big shout out to Kempston Jaguars who got the 3-2 victory this morning. But on to Liverpool and a pretty good performance overall. A little bit of a boring first half, but second half really turned the key and made the possession that we had in the first half and the chances finally count. Cardiff put up a really good performance, I would suggest, especially first half, keeping Liverpool at bay, keeping the score at 0-0. But once that first goal went in, always felt Liverpool would start to take control of that game. But starting off with the lineup, pretty strong. I wasn't too sure how strong it would go. Obviously, Championship Cardiff struggling in the league, around about fifth, fourth bottom or so. So I expected us to make one or two changes, but not really wholesale. Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp in his press conference said that he does actually want to start to do something in the domestic cups, and the FA Cup's not really been a very much success for Klopp's Liverpool over his 3 or 4, 5, 6 years in the job. So it was nice to see Liverpool actually progress into the fifth round. The lineup that started, obviously Kelleher in goal, expected that usually the cup goalkeeper, back four of Van Dijk, Konate, Trent and Smikas. So just the one change really. Matip, Konate, you could possibly argue as well. Midfield three of Henderson, Keita and Jones, with a front three of Jota, Firmino and Minamino, which we've got used to seeing with the absence of Mane and Salah, who actually meet tonight in the AFCON final, which I'll be doing a watch along with, hopefully with James, once he's finished work. But if not, I will be on there no matter what, doing a live watch along. So don't miss that tonight at about 7 o'clock kickoff. Mane versus Salah, who's going to be crowned king of the AFCON. But obviously on to today's game. As I say, first half 0-0, 80-something% possession for Liverpool in the first half. Lots of chances, but not really quite enough. There was a decent chance for Jota early on, really good turn, hit the ball straight at the goal. He would have expected probably Jota to score in that position, maybe put it to one of the corners, but kind of rushed it straight at the goalkeeper, and that was as good as it got really in terms of chances for Liverpool in that first half. But if you get your comments in, guys, let me know what you made of the game. If you want to speak about any particular players, it was a much needed game for Liverpool. I felt, it feels like forever since we've actually played a game, but lots of returning faces, which I'll get into shortly in terms of Elliott, Thiago, Luis Diaz making his Liverpool debut as well. So lots and lots to talk about there. But yeah, in terms of the first half, limited chances. I think Cardiff did well. I think they had a lot of the ball in our half. They created some decent chances and were unlucky. I think Liverpool were a little bit slow out the traps and should have done better in the first half, really. But second half performance was much, much better. And Liverpool took the lead shortly after the break with Trent crossing the ball into Jota with a fantastic header, which we've got used to seeing, really. Trent assisting and Jota scoring. It's become a good combination of those two. So a really good 1-0 up goal to score. And as I say, once Cardiff went behind, you always felt it was going to be an uphill battle. They came to park the bus. They came to keep it as tight as possible for as long as possible. And once that deadlock was broken, I think, Cardiff are quite used to being behind this season, sitting in about 20th, 19th place in the Championship. And it was always going to be a difficult challenge to get back in the game, especially away from home at Anfield against, let's be fair, a pretty strong Liverpool 11. But yeah, really good start. Good to see Jota again in the goals. We've seen Bobby and Firmino be more relied on with the absence of Mane and Salah over the last 4 weeks or so. So it was good to see Jota continue that goal scoring form. And I think he'll probably keep his place, if I'm honest, when Mane and Salah return. We've got Leicester on Thursday. Will Firmino drop out of the team? I think probably will. I think we'll see a return of at least Mane or Salah. I know whoever wins the competition tonight will probably go back to their home country and celebrate it a little bit more. So depending on that's Mane or Salah, I think potentially one, the loser of tonight will feature from the start against Leicester, probably with Jota and Firmino, and the winner would maybe come on as a sub or might not be back till the next weekend. But it was a really good start from Liverpool. 1-0 up, Really started to dominate possession after that as well. Cardiff really damaged limitation from that point, and subs started to come on. A double change with Naby Keita and Curtis Jones coming off for Elliott and Diaz, which was great to see. It felt like a game Liverpool needed, as I say. There was a lot of players that needed minutes, players that haven't played international. Obviously, we had a Premier League winter break, and the non-European players did play internationally in international games, but there was a lot of European players that haven't kicked a ball competitively for a while. So good to see the minutes. I think that's why we saw such a strong 11 at the beginning. The likes of Van Dijk and Trent and Henderson. All these players playing that sometimes have been given a day off in FA Cup, especially against lower league opposition. Obviously, Cardiff at the Championship, that still a lot of places between Liverpool and Cardiff, but it was a much needed game. It was at the right kind of tempo, the right kind of opposition to ease ourselves back into this final, Premier League / Champions League, run into the end of the season, the business end, as lots of people like to call it. But good subs around the hour mark. Harvey Elliott and Luis Diaz coming on for Liverpool. Go away. Harvey Elliott obviously coming back from injury, so that was fantastic to see him come back after a massive long injury break, really, really long time out. It was a horrible, horrible injury back in September, I believe it was, against Leeds when he dislocated his ankle. So he's come back probably earlier than expected. I didn't expect Elliott to come back in February. I think March was the touted month when that injury happened. That was the kind of target. So as Klopp said in his pre-match interview, that he was expecting, Elliott's been the perfect patient, if you like. He's done everything that they asked of him to come back as fit as quickly as possible. So it was great to see him. And obviously a double change, Luis Diaz coming on, the actual new signing. Harvey Elliott felt like a new signing, but Diaz comes on. Straight into the action on the hour mark. First game for Liverpool after that £37 million move from Porto, and looked great. He looked good. He looked up to speed. He got that nasty knock when the Cardiff player trod on his knee, and luckily, it was an impact injury rather than a twisted knee or an ACL. It was just a painful one, but one he could get over relatively quickly. But yeah, he was involved in the second goal, wasn't he, for Minamino? So Cardiff player, I'm not sure quite what he was doing, trying to shepherd the ball out of play when it was never going out. Good pressure from Luis Diaz, manages to win the ball back. Lovely bit of footwork on the edge of the pitch. Pulls it back to Jota, who probably should score, misses his touch, and Minamino comes through and sweeps up, and just gets a hard shot on target, and it manages to find its way through to the back of the net for 2-0. And I think from then that was it. I think at 1-0, yes, we were dominant, but at 1-0, Cardiff can score, and they did go on to score, so it to show that the second goal was definitely needed. The third goal, wow! I mean, welcome back, Harvey Elliott. What a goal! A fantastic cross from Robertson. The Cardiff defender loses his footing, does slip over. Great touch from Elliott, and an absolute spins on the half volley into the back of the net. And yeah, it's Harvey Elliott. I'm back, guys. This is me. This is what you've been missing. I'm back, ready for the end of this season. I'm not coming to make up the numbers. I'm coming to be part of this first 11. So absolutely brilliant from him to see him come back on the pitch after such a long time, and not just play well, but to actually get on the score sheet as well was superb. So a really good overall win for Liverpool, 3-0 at the time. Cardiff managed to get one back with 10 minutes to go. A good little move, to be fair. Disappointing not to get the clean sheet. But yeah, Cardiff do get one back, and something for the travelling fans to cheer the team from South Wales. So overall, very, very happy with that. Liverpool 3, Cardiff 1. A dominant performance. Definitely deserved to go through. Definitely deserved to win the game. Lots of minutes for tired players, or players coming back from injury. Thiago getting 10, 15 minutes at the end as well, which was excellent to see. Hopefully he can now stay fit from now until the end of the season, because it's been a very stop-start for Thiago. I've been pretty disappointed, and I've not shied away from criticism for Thiago, just purely because he can't stay fit. I've got nothing against him as a player. When he's fit and available, he's a fantastic option, but he's never fit and he's never available. It's always something. It's COVID, it's a virus, it's his illness, he's got a knock, he's injured, he's not match fitness. It's very stop-start start of his Liverpool career so far. So hopefully now, from now to the end of the season, he can stay fit, and Thiago and Elliott can battle for that third midfield position with Fabinho and Henderson, usually picked to start in the big games in the midfield. as well. But yeah, the likes of Matip was rested for the whole game. Fabinho obviously didn't feature as well today, so he'd been playing for Brazil obviously in the international break as well. So yeah, lots of players involved today. 5 subs made, so 16 odd players involved today. I think some cobwebs blown out the way, some much needed minutes in the legs of some of those players coming back from injury, and Luis Diaz making his bow as well. Could he potentially be involved on Thursday from the start if Mane or Salah are celebrating in their home country after tonight's AFCON final? Quite possibly, but really, really good. So obviously looking at the FA Cup overall, Man United shock losers on Friday night, losing to Middlesbrough, going down on penalties. So that will open the draw up slightly there. In terms of the rest of the draw, Luton Town will host Chelsea. That's my hometown team, my local supporting team against my son's favourite team. So that's going to be a really good game to keep an eye on that one as well. Lots of Premier League teams facing Championship teams as well. So potentially could see an all Premier League quarter final. There's a couple of all Premier League ties, Liverpool, Norwich, and Southampton, West Ham as well. But quite possibly we could see the whole quarterfinals completely Premier League, which is a little bit of a shame. But the likes of Kidderminster Harriers, Plymouth put up really, really good performances this weekend in their respective draws. So FA Cup it's been good fun. It's nice for Liverpool to actually be involved for a change. We've normally gone out by now under Klopp, so we're into the 5th round. Liverpool, as I said at the beginning of the show, will host Norwich, and hopefully you would expect them to go through that game. We should have a strong enough team to progress into the quarterfinals, which would be great. Already in one cup final against Chelsea, which is obviously the Carabao Cup final. Could we make it 2 domestic finals? The last time we made it to the Carabao Cup final, we did actually make it to the FA Cup final in the same season. That was back in 2012. So we got to 2 domestic finals, won 1 and lost 1. So it'd be great to be able to do something similar, or both of them as well. And the likes of the Premier League, we're looking at the Premier League table. Is it over? A lot of people will say it is. Some people will say win the game in hand, beat Man City at Etihad, and it's only 3 points. Man City have lost 2 games this season, drawn 3, so they're not indestructible. They're not undefeatable. So quite possibly we could see a bit of a resurgence, but Liverpool are going to need to be all guns blazing, and the likes of Diaz, Elliott, Mane, and Salah. It's like 4 new signings almost. Got used to watching Liverpool without them. Obviously Diaz as the new signing as well. So if they can go on a good run now, Leicester on Thursday will be a massive 3 points and a massive step towards chasing down Man City. And relying on snookers, you've got to hope Man City drop points. I know they've not got the toughest run of fixtures, but they've dropped points against teams you wouldn't maybe expect them to in the past as well. So fingers crossed, Liverpool can at least make an effort, make it a challenge. Maybe finish less points behind than they currently are. Can we close that gap, even just to put the pressure on without Man City running away with the league? FA Cup, as I say, we're through. Carabao Cup final, not too far away, and Inter Milan in the Champions League as well. So lots to look forward to. As I say, tonight we've got the live AFCON watch along, Senegal versus Egypt in the final. It's been a fantastic tournament. Who will become the victor? One of the Liverpool players will be coming back very, very happy, and the other one will be very, very upset, especially the little kind of friendly rivalry that Mane and Salah have with each other. It's a friendly, healthy rivalry, but they'll want nothing more than to beat the other, representing their country, and getting the win and winning a piece of silverware for their nation, which is huge. Senegal, I don't think they've ever won the African Cup of Nations. Egypt have won it 3 in a row, but not for about a decade or so, 10 or 12 years. They've not won it for. So it's going to be a big one. Check that out tonight at 7 p.m. As I say, live watch along, hopefully with James. If not, it will just be myself. And yeah, overall, good performance from Liverpool. Diaz, Elliott back in the team. Thiago as well, looking good for the end of the season running. So I'll catch you guys tonight. See you soon, and thanks for watching.